We're live, Beef.
Let's go. I feel
Happy
like that's what I
Tuesday.
always say, though. Hey,
Happy
happy
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. It is such a beautiful day outside.
It's not. It's cold.
Oh, no, it's not
You got a
cold.
beanie on.
But I have a tank top on and shorts on.
You got a beanie on. That means it's cold. Otherwise,
No,
Otherwise, you're a psychopath. So there's
it's
only
called it's called fashion.
okay. If it's not cold out and you got a beanie on, something's wrong.
Look, I mean, I wear beanies up until the spring when it's just too warm and I start sweating underneath.
Yep.
Today, perfect temperature.
Because it's cold.
No, it's cool. It's not cold. It's cool.
All right, let's have some fun, huh?
Oh,
So
I'm ready for
I
it.
think I think we had fun last time.
hmm
We got to dig into some things, but I think we can dig it. Let's start it off pretty light. Okay, so I've got a good video that I saw last night when I was watching the football, which
Okay.
I don't mean to, make you feel bad by bringing up football, being bottom of the league and all.
Well, I mean, I can't win them all, can I? I mean,
But
last year I made it to the finals. This year, I guess, is just not my year.
you still one win from the playoffs,
Well, that's great.
there's still a chance you could win the whole thing.
You never know. I could. Everyone loves an underdog story.
All right, you ready for this video? I saw it last night, and I think it only came
Okay.
out yesterday, but it's a great commercial
All right.
by Nike.
All right.
I'm not gonna play the music, but the music is "Love Hurts." So you ready?
Okay. Yeah. I actually saw clips of this on
At
TikTok
first, I
earlier.
had no idea what was going on, and
Yeah.
then I finally figured it out that they've been working out.
They can't go down the
Look at this lady trying to sit down. Yup, he's still going down the stairs.
stairs.
Isn't it good?
I really love that. I resonate with that so much. I mean, my old apartment that I lived in, my landlord replaced my toilet seat cover 3 times.
After every
Because
spot.
because I would throw myself down on it every single time. And he always thought it was funny, but I was like, I'm so sorry. So sorry.
Something's rattling with your audio. I don't know what it is. Let me turn it down
Oh,
a little bit, maybe. I think it's just because you're shouting, because you got hyped.
probably. I got
But
super excited.
but I love that winning isn't comfortable as well, too, right? Like it's such a great little tagline. And
Oh, I mean, I love it because what do we say here at Oxford? You can do hard, uncomfortable things. And that's what we do.
I don't know what's
Um,
going on with your audio, but it's just crackly for some reason.
really?
Yeah.
How about now?
Yeah, it's just peaking. I don't know why. Try and turn it down. Anyway, yeah, winning isn't comfortable, right? And some of the things we talk about on this one, like last time, was pretty uncomfortable, probably for some people to hear.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's uncomfortable for me to hear it, but without being that uncomfortable, you don't get to see or experience things like this. So today's Transformation Tuesday. Let's talk about your transformation over the past, how long?
Almost 3 years. So 2.5 years?
So when did you first walk into Oxford?
February 2022?
February of 2022.
Yeah.
Pretty much 2.5 years. Yeah.
Yeah, 2.5 years.
So
Yeah.
that's 24, only about 30 months,
hmm
right? So in 30 months, you've gone from, what's your weight right there, would you say?
Right there, I was like I was honestly, I was around 120 at that time.
Yeah. And then your weight currently?
170.
170. So 50 pounds of muscle.
Yeah.
And there you're deadlifting 195, 185? Was that your
What
max?
I'm in the first picture?
Yeah.
And no, in the first picture, that's what, 165?
Oh, is that a 15 or a
Mm-mm.
10?
That's a 10.
Okay, so 165. And did you get that lift? Did you get that one?
I mean, I did barely though. I thought
Yeah.
that was so hard. I think I actually peed my pants a little.
And then what was your best deadlift this year?
My best deadlift 295.
That's crazy.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah. And I mean, to to me it just speaks to, the title of this episode is winning isn't comfortable, right?
Yeah.
And you're winning, right? Like when you see the difference in them pictures, you see how healthy you look from
hmm
one to the other. It's just insane, isn't it? The difference.
I mean, so I still can't even, I don't even recognize that person on the left, really.
Right.
And it's just like, I mean, what's so crazy is when I look at that person on the left, I remember how I felt being that person on the left more than what I looked like. Just because I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I'm finally a size 2. Um, Look how, skinny I am. This is great because I mean, I was always wanting to be. I was like a size 12, 14 for a while in an unhealthy way
Mm.
before I got down to that size.
Yeah. So the focus there was like ripped, losing weight,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
deficit. Everything was in a deficit there, mentally, physically, like emotionally.
Oh,
Everything
for
was
sure.
aimed towards taking away from your body
hmm
and losing. And whereas everything on the other side is gaining strength, gaining muscle, uh, being mentally tougher, being stronger, and winning, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I
And
mean,
the other one is a very comfortable position, right? When you tell people, like on the other side, hey, I'm trying to lose weight. I want to be really, I want to be whatever size 2. Oh, you get approval. I'm a vegan. Oh, yeah, you got it. I'm vegetarian, I'm pescatarian, all that shit. You get all this approval, right?
hmm
Oh, you're trying really hard. You're doing all this stuff. You had a like comfortable jobs at some of them times, right?
oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I was
The
making,
other side is, oh, I don't eat vegetables. What? Oh, I only eat meat and I eat high fat and I lift heavy weights and I do hard things and I'm taking a chance on this job and we're going to grow this thing and and you get a lot of pushback, right?
Mhm. Oh, absolutely. I still get a lot of pushback even now
Hmm.
when I'm like, oh, well, because we get a lot of people in here, they talk about wanting to be that person on the left. They're like, well, I want to lose weight. I want to fit into this size. I want to do all these things. They're like, well, maybe I need to eat less. And I'm like, well, what do and I do use myself as an example. And when I tell people that, I mean, I currently fluctuate anywhere from 170 pounds to 190 pounds, and I look the way that I look, people are more shocked than anything. And then, of course, they're always like, you eat red meat every single day, 3 to 4 times a day. And they're like, well, how's your blood? How's your health? And I am the healthiest and strongest I've ever been.
Mm,
But it's hard. It's like you said, it's hard for people to understand. It's hard for them to believe because it's
yeah.
such an uncomfortable place to be in, the unknown, not being sure of they're like, well, the doctors say this. Well, doctors are wrong.
Well, I mean, I'm sure now the way that you're doing everything and the success that you're having and the strength that you're gaining, the person you're becoming, you get a lot of unsolicited advice now, right? Like, oh, you
Mhm.
should be doing this and you should be doing that. Whereas before, when you were the other person, you were just getting all like support and validation for everything you were doing, you know?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I even had someone tell me, they were like, well, you would look really good around 150 pounds. And I was like, screw you.
yeah,
Oh,
like
great.
where do you get the right to even say that to me? But oh, because you're doing well, let me bring you down. Like let me cut you down a little bit. And you're like, no, I'm trying to get bigger and stronger and healthier and harder to kill, and you can keep
Mhm.
doing whatever it is you're doing. And unless you come to me and ask me for my advice, I'm not going to tell you what you should and shouldn't be doing. So why are you telling me?
Right,
Yeah.
right. But I mean, people would rather see the person on the left than hear that you're trying to go through a wall like the Kool-Aid man.
Hmm. It's true. I mean, look
I mean,
look at this. None of this that I see from them two pictures in only 30 months, right? That is,
mhm,
you've had to push yourself so far beyond your comfort zone. And what we see physically is, in my opinion, just scratching the surface of who you've become mentally, and the different kind. You've always been hardworking and happy and passionate, but now you're just mentally tough on the other side of that too, right? Like that person on the left actually cared what people thought. That's why she was trying to
mhm.
do all them things. This person on the right only cares if it's making them better, they're gonna win, or the people around them are gonna win. And it's such a huge difference.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's even like this past weekend. I got asked, to hang out, to go out, but when I think about the things that I want to do, sure, I would like to, hang out and go out. That'd be fine. I mean, but what do I enjoy more? And that's meal prepping, working towards my goals, setting myself up for success, and knowing that I'm going to crush the week. But to other people, they think it's like, oh, well, you never have any fun, or you never go out. You don't really ever get to enjoy yourself. But you don't, but what people don't understand, I enjoy this. I
Mm-hmm.
love this.
Right.
Maybe I'm a little too obsessed. Maybe you've told me that before that I get a little too obsessed that I need to take a break, but I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. And I mean, even that picture on the right, I posted that last year. I don't even think, when was that picture posted? That was posted, I mean, at least 8 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm even bigger
And stronger and fitter.
and stronger and fitter than I was on the right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, it doesn't come without some days. Do I really want to eat 200 grams of protein? No. No, I don't. But do I do it? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is delicious. It's still good, but um, I'm not always in the mood to sit there and eat well, actually, I'm lying. That's a lie. That's such a
Yeah.
lie.
Well, I mean, one of my favorite quotes growing up playing basketball, trying to be a professional athlete, was obsessed is a word used by the lazy to describe the dedicated. And
Mhm,
that popped up all over the place more recently. But that was one of my favorite quotes. When I used to love being told I was obsessed by people because I was
well,
obsessed. And I just thought, yeah, it's just, I'm just doing things that you won't do. Um,
mhm,
and I think the only times I tell you you're obsessed is just like nutrition and stuff. Like when I look at that person on the left, that person was obsessed with losing weight, right?
mhm.
In an
Yeah.
unhealthy way. And you don't want to become the same person the other way, right? Like
Mhm,
healthy for you now is not, you know, feeling guilty all the time, or you know what I mean? Like there's a level of you've got to you've got to enjoy this now. Like you've got to enjoy how far you've got. Doesn't mean take your foot off the gas. It means like build habits that like are sustainable forever.
mhm. Oh yeah,
Because
I used to not.
you're
I
not
for
in
a
a
while there.
yeah. Go ahead.
For a while there, I wasn't flexible. Like I
Mm,
was not. That was what I was doing wasn't sustainable. And I remember you and I having a conversation about what I was doing
yeah.
because I was super hardcore in the wrong direction. Like I was heading towards what I wanted to do, but you could tell I was getting tired and burnt out And I remember you telling me that I needed to be flexible to have sustainability, flexibility and sustainability,
Yeah, I
not
think
just
just enjoy it, right? Like you can't get this strong and fit and then be upset because you missed your macros by 5 or 10. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't make any
Mhm.
sense because you've worked so hard that day that it's still a win. You know, there's a lot of wins, and sometimes you can get so obsessed that every little negative makes the day a loss. And so you've got to take your wins when you can get them, you know?
That is 100% the truth.
And then when you have kids and stuff like that, you've got to realize that like you might only get one win today because you've got to be flexible, right? Like,
Mhm.
okay, well, I'm going to work out and I'm going to hit my macros and I'm going to do one thing that pushes the business forward. Like, I've got to break it down to that and be like, well, I still won today. Like, okay, I didn't get everything done that I wanted to do, but that doesn't mean, you know, I got to work till 4 a.m. because that's going to affect tomorrow and that's going to make, and you got to build, you got to just keep growing into that stuff, right? Like I'm not the same person I
Mhm.
was when I was even 35 now, you know, in terms of that kind of stuff. But I feel like I am still growing and still winning the day.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, especially with kids, I applaud you and other people that are able to even have those one wins because I get home, I don't even, I don't even have a dog.
Hmm.
I get home and it's like, well, I'm done for the
Yeah.
day,
Well,
you
I
know?
work with a lot of dads, you know, and
Hmm.
something that's come up recently is you have enough time. And like me and you, like I would have said it 4 years ago. I'd have been, and it's actually true. Like you have enough time. The workout is only 1 hour. You have that 1 hour, and um, it's true. You have enough time. You definitely have enough time. I have enough time to get everything done today. The problem is, once you have kids and a job and all this stuff, is you just don't have the in between time. So
Hmm.
I go from this call right now, ends in 5-10 minutes, and then I'm straight to East Atlanta to coach. And then from East Atlanta to coach, I go work out. And then from the workout, I go pick my kids up. And then from that, I'm with them until dinner time. And then after dinner, and it's just like one long list of to dos without
Hmm.
like the 10 to 15 minutes in between to just go, what's going on?
Right.
Right. And so then if one thing throws that a whole thing off, that whole schedule is moved and the workout
Mhm.
suffers. And your kids get sick all the time. And you're, you know what I
True.
mean? Like something happens where they're not where they're supposed to be that you would have had that time. And I talked to someone about it and I was like, you constantly feel like you're preparing your kids to go somewhere so you can catch up and then they never go.
Yeah.
And you're just like, wait a minute, this is the week. And then that week is 3 days. And then the next week is 3 days. And the next week is 3 days. And you're just like, yeah, you're just not the most important thing right now. But that
Hmm.
doesn't mean you don't win. It doesn't mean you don't grow. It doesn't mean you get rid of all your goals because you got kids. Because you can't become the fat dad that can't go play with your kid. You can't, you know what I mean? You can't lose your health because, especially now, because if you follow these guidelines, which I'm going to share with you.
I was looking at them earlier when you sent them to me. I was like, oh dear God.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big document and like there's not that much in it, but this page, I like this page just because it breaks down how far off it is from what I tell my guys.
Hmm.
So follow a healthy diet plan at every stage of life. Blah, blah, blah. There's some good stuff in there, right?
Right.
The only problem is, can't really make it bigger, but I'll put this link in the notes. Um, Focus on meeting food group needs with nutrient dense foods. I love that, right?
Right.
Stop right
Yes.
there. And beverages that stay within calorie limits. Amazing. That's exactly right.
Hmm.
Focus on meeting food group needs with nutrient dense foods. That's exactly what we do. The
Yep.
problem is, I don't have a problem with vegetables or fruits. We've talked about that a little bit last time. Dairy. fat-free, low-fat. Yogurt and cheese and lactose-free versions, fortified soy beverages, and yogurt as
Ugh,
alternatives. Don't have a problem with yogurt. Don't have a problem with milk, but I don't. Why does it need to be fat-free? Why does
right.
it need to be low-fat? I want that
Why
fat.
does it
Let's
have to
get
have
fat.
soy?
But you just said nutrient-dense foods. So if I'm having a low-fat milk, that's not nutrient-dense because the nutrient is the fat. That's the only nutrient in milk, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, I mean, there's some protein, but really, milk has healthy fats in it.
Yeah, so I want the fat personally because I have no problem with milk.
I wish I had no problem with milk. I love milk. I love milk. But I will tell you, I have zero issue with raw milk.
Right. And then protein foods, lean meats, poultry, okay, eggs, good, seafood, bees, peas, lentils, and nuts. I see people all the time, my guys especially, big bag of nuts, right? I
Yep.
eat almonds every day. And I'm like, that's if that's better than it's better than going and buying a Snickers, cool. But if you just got rid of the lean meat and actually ate a fatty meat, you probably wouldn't need the snack
No.
because the fattier meat is going to be more nutrient dense. So you've got your protein and your fat in there. So you're going to feel
Mhm.
fuller for the rest of the day. And then
Satisfied.
beans, peas, and lentils. And I just don't think you need them at all.
They're
But
not even that good.
yeah, you're adding
Not even
something
that
there
good.
to your food that for what reason?
Right. I mean, I told you, if you can't eat it raw, if you cannot eat it raw, and you have to cook it I mean, yeah, eggs, I get that. Chicken, I don't eat any chicken. I
Mm-hmm.
eat chicken on occasion. I like a chicken wing for sure. But there's just something about knowing that I can't eat raw chicken because I could get salmonella poisoning. But
Yeah. And then we've
beans,
got,
lentils,
yeah,
I can't. I just can't.
oils, including vegetable oils and oils in food, such as seafood and nuts. So we need the nut oil and we need the vegetable oil.
Have you ever watched a video? Because I saw one recently and I wish I would have had it for this. Have you ever seen a video where they make all the vegetable oils and the seed oils? Have you ever watched that video?
Dude, perfect.
It,
Perfect timing. Are you ready? Are you
do you
talking
have
about
it?
are you are you talking about by any chance the $212 billion seed oil business?
Oh my, it's how much?
$212 billion seed oil business.
Oh my God. If I was an emoji right now, I'd be that emoji with the head exploding.
Yeah, so here you go. I'm going to actually put the sound on for this because I think this is fascinating.
Okay.
And we're only going to play the introduction, so stay with it.
What if a $200 billion food ingredient
Here-
is shrinking our brains and making us dumber?
From ranch to Italian.
The dumbing down of America.
Making our kids dumber.
Brain is permanently stunted by food that you consume.
In the 1930s, a Polish farmer came to Canada with a plant that has seeds that produce an oil that was great for lubricating machinery.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, so I can hear it.
Yeah. So came with a product that was good for lubricating machinery. Yeah?
Mhm.
Canada
Yep.
produced tons of this stuff to lubricate ship engines during World War II. But after World War II, they didn't need all that lubricant anymore.
So after World War II, the lubricant that they were using on ships,
Mhm.
the engines of ships, once the war was over, tons of it. Didn't need it anymore. So maybe you think like give it to the auto industry or
Right.
Let's see what they did.
And we're stuck with all these seed producing plants. Also, they had tons of machinery left over because to produce just a tablespoon of oil, you need
Stop. Are you serious? What really? I'm blown away right now. 70,000 seeds?
Tablespoon of seed
Shut
oil.
up.
Sorry,
Shut
not
up.
oil, vegetable oil.
Stop. Oh my God. That
Let's keep going.
70,000 seeds. To get this tiny amount of oil, they ran the seeds through a long industrial process.
with high pressure.
Here's your process.
Yes, this is what I was talking about. This is exactly what I was talking about. Play it, play it, play it.
This is where your seed oils come from.
Forcing out the oil to a second extraction. 70-minute wash with a solvent. They wash the oil with sodium hydroxide. They bleach it, then use a steam injection heating process to remove the canola odor.
And they then sold it as cooking oil for humans.
Healthy cooking with new Mazola Right blend.
Okay, what really got me is the fact that they bleach it. They bleached it, cleaned it with solvents.
Mhm.
Stop it. Stop it right now.
Well, no. Let's start with it was a lubricant for ships. Then, what are we going to do with all this oil? We've got all these machines. Well, let's just call it vegetable oil. It would be like, it literally would almost be like the equivalent of you've got WD-40 and we've just got an excess of WD-40 for people's bikes, right? The stuff that you spray on people's bikes and hinges and stuff. And then you were like, we've got too much of this. What do you want to do with it? And somebody just went, let's just sell it to people to eat. Well, it smells kind of funny. Well, we'll get rid of that smell. We'll strip that out. Okay. So they just strip out the smell and then change the label and call it vegetable.
I mean, I'm not shocked by any means, just because
I'm pretty shocked.
I'm not shocked. Between the big pharma industry, $1 billion industry, the seed oil industry being $1 billion industry, they're making their money preying off of people. So how do you make big pharma richer? You make people sicker. How do we make people sicker? Oh, we put all these seed oils and crap in their food. It's just it's like chalk it up to being called the circle of life.
Yeah. Crazy.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
That is, like, I mean, I can tell you that I noticed.
That's just one of them things when, like, we just looked at the guidelines and that oil is in them guidelines, right? And seed oil is recommended, vegetable oil is recommended over butter, over tallow, over, high fat options. So that just speaks to me that if you want to be healthy, you've got to, just like you, get outside your comfort zone. You have to get outside your comfort zone. You have to try something new. I've had men come into my program that didn't really like meat, didn't really eat meat, and then I said, hey, let's just try this. Let's just see what happens. Higher fat, higher protein, low carb. The exact opposite of them guidelines, right? Them guidelines are high carb, low fat. And all of a sudden, they start gaining muscle. They start increasing their libido. They start feeling more driven. They start, I have a test that they do, which I think I told you about it before, which is boner or no boner. So, like, did you wake up with a boner? So, like, that's just one of them things that how healthy you are based on something like that. And high fat produces more testosterone. Like, you need it. It supports your testosterone production. You need protein for your muscles. If I stop you eating carbs now, nothing bad happens to you.
No.
To be the greatest athlete in the world, you probably need carbs. To train 5-6 hours a day, it's going to be difficult on just fat and protein. It's going to be difficult. Not saying you can't do it. It's going to be difficult because you might need some instant energy. But if you're on Zoom calls all day, I take away the carbs. After a week, nothing bad is going to happen. Only good things are going to happen. But you're going to have to get out your comfort zone. You're going to have to cook a steak. You're going to have to eat a steak for breakfast, lunch. You're going to have to get... This morning, I had bacon, eggs, cheese. I've got some things because I'm on the run today, which are just beef and cheese roll-ups with some mustard on, right? Like I can't have a sandwich because I just don't need the bread.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to have to eat some kind of meat. And it doesn't matter if it's not a lean meat. You don't have to just eat turkey. You don't have to eat soy. And every man I've worked with on this has felt better.
Yeah. I mean, speaking to the women's side, we see so many women with Hashimoto's, thyroid issues. And I've worked with women who were perimenopausal or who were just getting into menopause. And when I ask them what they're eating, what are they eating? Oh, well, I'm not really eating meat. If I do eat meat, they only eat chicken. They don't eat any red meat at all. And they wonder why they're always tired. They have no sex drive. They are having issues sleeping. There's just, I mean, the plethora of issues that actually happen from not eating fat. And I've worked with several women who started eating more red meat and started eating high fat, and they were perimenopausal, and they weren't perimenopausal anymore. They were far away from it. It changed their sleep. It changed the way their body looked. It changed their I mean, what it did as far as benefits go completely changed their whole life. And they're like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Even something as simple as, well, they were experiencing a lot of joint pain and inflammation. Or I had one woman who was trying to get pregnant and she couldn't get pregnant and they couldn't figure out why. And her doctor wanted to put her on all this medication. And all she did was change her diet and start eating more fat. She wound up pregnant 2 months later. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Just.
I got an interesting video. I got an interesting one for you. That's a quick one.
Okay.
I'm going to share this one with you. Because it's something that you've talked to me about. So this dude owns his health shop.
We, Nutrition World, had to remove Bragg's liquid vinegar from the store. When I opened my store in 1979, one of the mainstays was Bragg's vinegar in the
Great mustache, by the way, right?
Yeah, right. First thing I noticed.
With the mother, made for about 100+ years, unbelievable as far as anecdotal, and now research has shown that vinegar had so many health benefits, but we pulled it. We pulled it from the store shelves of Nutrition World. Why is that? They sold out to a capital investment company, and I've been in this industry, like I said, 45 years. 95% of all companies who were homegrown, who built a wonderful business on ethics and fantastic quality, it almost always decreases within the first 2 years of that capital company buying it. And it did with Bragg's. I'm so disappointed. Customers were telling us constantly, it looks different, it tastes different, it's lighter, it doesn't have the same benefit. I wasn't feeling as good. So we've replaced it with two that we know that have the quality at this point. Cadia, we dealt with.
So if you did, or if you do, because I think a lot of people do use that stuff, right?
Yeah, I used to use that. I used to use that as mix it with water and use that as a facial toner.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things.
Here's a new one. Cadia unfiltered apple cider vinegar. So you said that's a good one. And then what was the other one here?
With them for many years, and
Soul Spring apple cider vinegar, which that bottle, I would get that one. It's based on the bottle, but the other one looks a little bit more organic-y, doesn't it? So
it does.
Yeah, if you use apple cider vinegar, the most popular one got bought out by a company, and basically they're watering it down, is what it sounds like. To make
Not even watering it down. Don't make me get into what it really is.
Yeah.
Because then we're just going to get canceled. But the company that bought it is headed by someone who has their own apples, and they've been spraying and doing things to these apples that are unnatural, and they're making it into this vinegar. So no support for me, period.
Yeah. I knew you'd like that video. But that guy's been in business 42 years, And like you said, he's devastated by it. Like, people would come in just for that stuff. So, all right, finally, you've been on the new diet now for what? You're coming up on the second week. We just started the second week. And I thought this was a good way to close it out, because I've been feeling really good. My body's been feeling really good, and I've been stretching, and I've been eating different. And I just thought this was an interesting It's about the placebo effect. So,
Okay.
you ready?
Yeah.
Let me start it over.
Painkillers are more effective if they're red. Okay? Sleeping pills are more effective if they're blue. There's a big difference to the placebo effect if you give people 3 small pills rather than 1 big one. But let's take this a bit further. Wine tastes better if you pour it from a heavier bottle. Wine tastes better if you tell people it's expensive. Painkillers are more effective if they're branded. And painkillers are more effective if you tell people they're expensive.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah. As a bartender, I already know a lot about that placebo effect.
Yup.
Because real quick, I can tell you there's this one whiskey. It's called Pappy. It's made by the same people that make Old Forester. Old Forester actually tastes better than Pappy, but people will tell you that it doesn't because Pappy is like a $3,000 bottle of whiskey. And people wait all year for it to come out, stand in line when it comes out, and it is trash and it's just watered down. And you can ask any liquor rep that represents that brand, they'll tell you the exact same thing. But people are going to buy it. So,
Yeah, this is good. I want to know what you think about this. You ready?
yeah.
Now, interestingly, Nurofen in Australia got into trouble because they sold a whole range of variants of Nurofen, including Nurofen for period pain, and I think there was Nurofen for colds and flu, which were chemically and pharmacologically identical.
All right. So they sold them identical, right?
Yeah.
Identical, but they put something different on the box. So what it was for was put on the box, and then they charge more.
To standard Nurofen, but they charged a premium for them, making someone pay
Right? And they got in trouble for that, right?
Yeah.
more for a drug that says for period pain. Whether you like it or not, will make that more effective at treating period pain.
But it made it more effective at treating it because of the placebo effect.
That's
Than if you take the
crazy.
generic Nurofen at the ordinary price.
So they got in trouble for doing it, but it actually does make it more effective for the people that are taking it. What do you think about that? That's crazy, isn't it?
I mean, I'm like I said, all the stuff that we're talking about doesn't shock me because I can't tell you. There's been one time over the last year that I've taken an ibuprofen once. And that's because, well, I thought I was dying, and then I took it, and I was like, I feel better, and then I felt better. But usually,
I personally wonder if like protein shakes and creatine are like a placebo effect. Like you buy a more expensive one, you feel like you're getting bigger and stronger, you know?
I did. I was trying out that for a while there. I tried that creatine. What is it? The HCl, because I was like, oh, I really like it. Well, guess who's back to using what she was using before? And it's $20 cheaper than what I was buying the other
For a
one
while,
for.
you were like, "Whoo, I'm getting stronger." So yeah, it's funny. I wonder what. I always found like if you go and buy a bunch of supplements, you end up training a little bit harder. You know, just because like you don't want to waste the supplements. So yeah, it's funny. I wonder where the placebo effect works in that stuff.
I don't know. I'm a sucker for a good label, and I'm like, this is it. This is the one.
All right.
This is gonna be great.
At Beefy Beauty, thank you for sharing your transformation. Tuesday transformation, we'll call this one. The title
Thanks for
episode,
surprising me with that.
Winning Isn't Comfortable. And I think you are an example of that. Every day pushing yourself outside your comfort zone.
Thanks,
It's
man.
11:43. So I'm going to get off of this and head over there while you set up the gym.
I'm already ready to go. Let's go.
That was fun. Thank you.
I love it. See you when
Love
you get
hanging out
here.
with you on these Tuesdays.
Love hanging out with you, period.
See you in a minute.
See ya.